When the AT&T mobile network went down, Senator Marco Rubio raised a troubling thought. He posted, "I don't know the cause of the AT&T outage." Now, the company later said it was technically or not likely cyber attack, but Rubio posted, nevertheless, that kind of outage will be 100 times worse when China launches a cyber attack on America on the eve of a Taiwan invasion. And he posted, it won't just be cell service they'll hit, it'll be your power, your water, and your bank. Now, there's a lot to unpack there that's really important and needs context. Now, we'll start with the threat of a Chinese invasion of Taiwan that is very real, and it is growing as foreign aid to Ukraine and Taiwan stalls in the U.S. House as lawmakers take a 2-week break.
2 weeks? What are they thinking? My God, this is bizarre.
Well, it illustrates a striking shift that's helping Russia's invasion of Ukraine and could also ease a potential Chinese invasion of Taiwan, which could draw the United States into war.
Are you willing to get involved militarily to defend Taiwan if it comes to that?
Yes.
You are?
That's the commitment we made.
For background, in 1949, the Communist Party of China, or the People's Republic, drove the old republic into retreat to Taiwan in a civil war that produced no treaty. And China has threatened to seize it ever since. Meanwhile, our military and national security operations and China's are in a very vulnerable position. Our militaries and also many other commercial manufacturers require advanced semiconductors that the United States currently does not mass produce. We happen to rely mostly on Taiwan for advanced semiconductors, which puts China's interest in taking over Taiwan now in broader context.
The more I became aware of the essential nature of advanced semiconductors, the more concerned I became about our national security.
And just before Vladimir Putin invaded Ukraine, he and China's Xi Jinping signed a pact declaring a new world order and stating there are no forbidden areas of cooperation between these autocrats. And China has since escalated military exercises around Taiwan. And right now, China could be waiting to see if Western resistance to the Russian invasion continues to wane and stall in Congress. And if the United States loses its will to stand up to the Russian invasion, then based on U.S. intel assessments, China could decide the U.S. would not have the will to stand up against its invasion and then make its move.
Where the Chinese government believes that it will likely crush American will for the U.S. to defend Taiwan in the event of a major conflict there.
And if China invades and if the U.S. does in fact have the will to defend Taiwan, China might be able to disrupt our ability to do it by shutting down our nation's communications networks and electrical grid and launch a bunch of low-blow attacks against civilian businesses.
Low blows aren't just a possibility in the event of a conflict. Low blows against civilians are part of China's plan.
And that brings us to the second part of Rubio's post, that the People's Republic of China would combine an invasion of Taiwan with a massive cyber attack on the United States, and it has assembled an army of hackers to do it.
The PRC has a bigger hacking program than that of every major nation combined.
Now, the risk is that could impede a military response and keep our politicians and people across the United States in a state of chaos and confusion until an invasion would be complete. And you might say, well, that's an act of war in itself, but our federal lawmakers have not made that official, which could drive even more confusion.
We have no policy in the United States of America as to what constitutes an act of war on this country in the cyber domain.
And we know China ran a campaign about a year ago called Volt Typhoon to hack into utility systems to look for ways to try to disrupt them. They didn't actually disrupt operations, but may have been looking for future ways to exploit them. And one of the targets was a utility system in Hawaii that supports our Pacific Fleet.
The Volt Typhoon malware enabled China to hide, among other things, pre-operational reconnaissance and network exploitation against critical infrastructure like our communications, energy, transportation, and water sectors.
And this week, leaked information from China revealed it's hiring private hackers to expand its efforts. And some of the most concerning operations that we know about relate to breaching government and commercial infrastructure around the world and the theft of road data in Taiwan. More than 450 gigabytes of road mapping data. We can't say for sure why China would want that, but it would certainly come in handy if China is in fact planning a ground invasion of Taiwan.